This is PWF Empire Live.
It's the best thing going today.
The best insight and analysis on the hottest topics in the world of wrestling happens here. From storylines and news to rumors and reviews, we've got the action covered from bell to bell.
Believe that.
Presented by PWFEmpire.com with your hosts, Charlie Feast, Evan Medina, and J-Dub.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
The match starts now.
PWF Empire is live tonight. I'm Jay, and joining me on the hosting panel tonight is the guy who last week bought Seth Rollins' title reign, Duke.
Damn straight. All day, baby. If it means everybody else gets to be okay.
Was what we got on Monday Night Raw okay? That looked like fuckery to me.
See, but it wasn't Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar.
Oh my god. You know, we'll definitely have to get to that tonight. You know, we will fucking get there, but I'm just all out of sorts right now. I don't like we actually had the WWE World Heavyweight Champion be pinned by the Lollipop Guild on Raw. And you know what? But you know what? We're gonna have
Mercury.
Yeah, I just would like to repeat, you bought this. You bought this. This is the type of fuckery that you signed up for. This is all your fault.
Do you see how hard I'm laughing?
I was going to come on this show
since the show was over.
I was going to come on this show and I was going to put you over. I was going to be like, you know what? Duke is the hardest working man in show business today. But this. But you know what? We have a whole show to deliver tonight. Money in the Bank. We're going to be going down the card match by match, giving all of our thoughts on everything that is going to occur on this show. And we would love it if you guys would do the same. Go ahead and let us know your predictions, your most anticipated match for Money in the Bank. You can do so in many ways. You can do that on YouTube, on the chat. You can also do it on PWFEmpire.com, on the post there, and also on Twitter with the hashtag PWFEmpire. Because, as always, the conversation continues both on and off air. Let's go ahead and get this conversation started on something that I am very excited to discuss. This is Kevin Owens versus John Cena, and apparently what is the biggest rematch in WWE history. It only took 2 weeks to arrive at this point, but at Money in the Bank, we will see these two square off once again after their first encounter ended with Kevin Owens walking away as the victor. His very first match on the main roster of WWE beat the face that runs the place, as Cena likes to call himself. So what mindset are you in heading into Owens versus Cena 2?
See, I'm in the camp where I know it's going to be a good match, and that's fine, but I would have loved to see this get a little bit more time to culminate and just keep moving it around, have Kevin Owens be a little bit more brash now that he's beaten John Cena once. I think this is where that 2 weeks of build kind of hurts it. Because it feels like I literally just got the last match, and that's the problem for me. And it's kind of why I wish this whole thing was kind of a little bit more of a long, drawn-out process. So to see him come right back to the well so soon, I have no doubts I'm going to come out of the match. It might not be as good, but shit, it can still be a good match without being as good as the last one, and that's fine. So
the way that I look at it, they really changed up the game with this match. It's not your usual rematch because I believe last week on Monday Night Raw, wasn't Kevin Owens the first one to come out? I think he addressed the WWE Universe before John Cena did. Yeah. And the way that I look at it, it's kind of weird how the format of a rematch has shifted because of course, I'm sure John Cena wants this rematch, but the interesting thing about this one is you had Kevin Owens out there demanding a rematch. So it became more about it became less about Kevin Owens just defeating John Cena and more about Kevin Owens ending John Cena. And I think the way that they worked Kevin Owens' son into the mix and that whole story that he told about him going home and his son asking if John Cena is okay, that kind of enraged Kevin. And he was like, you know what? Beating this guy isn't going to be enough. I have to go in there and I have to end the empire that is known as John Cena. So when you flip the dynamic in that way where the winner of the match wants the rematch, I think that it kind of changes things, and that's why I'm okay with the 2-week build, because with the story that WWE has laid out in this very short time, I'm like, that's a damn good story and not something that you see too often.
See, my biggest problem with that, though, is I like the concept, but while we're looking at it as Kevin Owens, it's also John Cena. Mm-hmm. And when we have John Cena losing clean, I feel like John Cena should be clawing and scratching to get that rematch. And for him to not be clawing and scratching right now and just doing everything, and for Kevin Owens to be the one to demand it, while the story that they told was good, and actually it's probably the best thing going into Money in the Bank right now.
And
I just don't know.
That's not difficult, to be quite honest. But
no.
They're still good, but yeah, like...
I think that, like, the big thing that we're looking at there is, like, would you have rather seen the storyline of John Cena being beaten clean and wanting that rematch against Kevin Owens? Or are we all right just getting what we got with Kevin Owens being the one who wanted the rematch because he wants his son to understand?
See, that is pretty interesting, and that was my initial thought. Like, when they announced the rematch before Elimination Chamber even went off air, I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, don't you want to see some kind of change in John Cena? This is something that we've been craving for years. When something important happens to John Cena, we see that shift in his personality. Something changes about him, but it's kind of interesting where WWE didn't go that route, and this is one of, if not the only time where I'm actually okay with it. And I think that based off of what happens on Sunday, they do have the opportunity to tell the kind of story that you want them to tell, and I want them to tell with the changing of John Cena, because I'm just going to go ahead and say it. John Cena needs to get his ass whooped again.
Absolutely.
Yes. I can't see any other way that this match could possibly end other than Kevin Owens winning.
And I think, like, that whole concept of, like, oh, well, to have a feud, if you have the heel go over, the babyface needs to get his win back. No, fuck he doesn't.
Fuck that even Stevens BS. We don't need that. Because it's very interesting. I believe it was JR. He wrote in his blog on jrsbarbecue.com, he said that Kevin Owens isn't over yet. And I know that sounds weird because he goes out to the ring and you hear the response that he gets from the crowd, and it seems as if a whole hell of a lot of people like him. But here's the thing. People like Duke and I, people like a lot of the people who are watching this show right now, we know Kevin Owens. We know Kevin Steen, but the WWE Universe as a whole, they're still getting to know him. And I'm going to use the term established. I don't think he's established enough on the main roster in WWE for him to absorb a loss from John Cena and everything to be A-okay. Like, he needs to drive the point home even further than he did at Elimination Chamber and go in Money in the Bank and beat the brakes off of John Cena.
Yeah, see, I think this is a feud that could benefit from Kevin Owens whipping John Cena's ass for a prolonged period of time. I think this is one of those things where once you put the U.S. title in it, whenever that point's going to be, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall, I almost think it's going to be one of those things where maybe this is the way you unify the belts, by having Kevin Owens not give a shit about the U.S. belt and just tossing it in the fucking garbage.
It just disappears.
But I think that, like, eventually once you get there, at least they have to give Cena his rematch before he can do that. So I think this is one of those things where you can have this story go a while. And it's not a bad thing, because these guys aren't touching too much on TV. They're like keeping them mostly in the talking segments, which is refreshing. So to see, like, them go into this well, I think that SummerSlam would be about the right time for John Cena to get his win, if he's going to get a win in the feud.
Yeah, and like I said last week, this thing has some legs because we could have looked at it early on and said this is just going to be like a one-off thing, give Kevin Owens a few dates on the main roster, and he goes back to doing his thing in NXT. But he's doing his thing in NXT, he's doing the thing on the main roster. He's in like 15 different feuds right now, and I love every single one of them. And this one with John Cena, I really want to see this thing continue, and I'm hoping that WWE makes the right decision and John Cena takes another loss this Sunday. Whatever way you want to book it, go ahead, do so. But he needs to lose this Sunday.
See, this is also another one of those scenarios where you could have put him in the Money in the Bank and just had it like where both of them are there. And then maybe neither one wins. Maybe you have Kevin Owens win, but you put them both in Money in the Bank. Then you make Money in the Bank seem more important because there's a feud going in there. And we've got some more established people in like the Money in the Bank as well, and it gives him a chance to say, hey, Kevin Owens is just as important as Roman Reigns and Sheamus and Randy Orton. This is how seriously you should be taking this dude. Plus, we just didn't have to see the match 2 weeks after we saw the last one.
Okay. Next up, I guess we'll move on from Cena to his lady friend here, the WWE Divas champion, Nikki Bella. She will be defending her championship versus Paige. And I don't even know what to say about this because Nikki, she goes out there and cuts a promo. And then we also have to take into account what happened during her last title defense where her and Brie pulled twin magic. It's a very heelish move, and I just look at what she did, what she said on Monday Night Raw, and it's so damn weird. Like, I don't know who she is right now. The only indication that I get that the Bellas are faces is when Brie Bella goes out there and she turns on her little sympathy voice and she talks about how Daniel Bryan is injured. Like, beyond that, I'm so fucking confused, and Brie wasn't on Raw tonight, so I'm back in a state of confusion. Like, I don't know what's going on in this feud.
Well, see, I kind of liked a little bit of what we got the last few because I had something to, like, grasp onto in these last 2 weeks in the Divas division because we got the return of Jack Swagger in lady form out there doing push-ups in the middle of the ring. And it's sad that that's the most memorable thing I've gotten out of this. The twin magic was stupid because their faces don't look the same, their hair doesn't look the same, their bodies don't look the same, they're not the same amount of tan, they don't have the same size of breasts, they don't even have like the same. I don't even know if they're the same height anymore. This is ridiculous.
See, the funny thing about that, I'm listening to Monday Night Raw and the commentators are there and they're like, oh, well, yeah, Brie covered up her face and that's how they were able to pull off twin magic.
That doesn't work for me.
Okay.
That doesn't. No. If you showed me, if you like put out two legs and you're like, which one's Breeze, which one's Nikki? I'd be like, Nikki's the one whose leg is almost as dark as me.
But yeah, this feud, and that's not even the most confusing part. Well, that probably is the most confusing part about it. It's not the only confusing part about it because you have this storyline that they're basing this feud off of, this Hollywood diva versus wrestler diva, and I don't understand it because I know Paige, she has her history in the wrestling industry. JBL tells us every damn week she won her first championship from her mom. I understand that, but where you are in WWE right now, both of y'all are cast members on Total Diva, so I don't understand the whole issue with Paige, and she's going out there and talking about how the Bellas want to become Hollywood and shit like that. Well, if they want to become Hollywood, if you're on the same show, does that mean you do too? I just don't get it. And realize that we haven't actually talked about anything substantive with this feud because, shit, this is all that we have to go off of. A bunch of confusion and mess.
Yeah, I was going to say, you thought there was substance to this feud? She wrestled Summer Rae because
she's still on the roster.
She could? Because she could? I thought Summer Rae was probably off, like, filming the Marine 6 with Miz or something.
That's next year. Yeah, we gotta wait a little bit. I know you really want to see the Marine 6, but you gotta wait a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie though.
With 5.
I'm not gonna lie though. I might see 4 because 3 wasn't that bad. I actually gave it a chance with the Miz in it, and he's the only one who could actually sell the part. So, and that's the state of the Divas division right now. We're talking about the Marine with starring the Miz.
We're talking about straight to DVD WWE studio movies. If that doesn't tell you something is wrong, then I don't know what the hell will. But I guess, should we pick a winner now? Oh, this is something I'm interested in. Want to talk about some substance. Nikki Bella for the win, September 15th. Bam, end of story.
I guess the winners will be the fans, because they definitely have a time where they can relieve their bladders this time, and I don't think it's anything about giving Divas a chance here. We gave Divas a chance. All right? Now it's time to go back to watching NXT women's wrestling and giving them a chance instead of trying to give these Divas a chance because the roster is a hot-ass mess.
Mm-hmm. So... yeah, what do we have next? Ryback versus Big Show for the Intercontinental Championship. This match sprung about when Big Show pretty much got in his feelings a little bit with Ryback calling himself the big guy. You want to talk about big guys? I mean, there the Big Show is. And that's pretty much the basis of this feud. They had an interesting segment on Miz TV tonight, and it looks like Miz is mixing it up with those guys a little bit. But yeah, as of now, it will be Ryback versus Big Show, with Ryback's newly won Intercontinental Championship on the line this Sunday at Money in the Bank.
What the fuck are you doing? You gave the Ryback his first singles title in a match that didn't even make it feel like a big deal, because that chamber match was so fucking bad to begin with. The whole thing was a hot-ass mess. And then you go out there and you send Big Show at him. Shit, just go with who you had planned for Daniel Bryan, which, I mean, that's probably, they didn't even know it might have been the Big Show at this point, because I don't think they planned anything more than 2 days in advance. What was wrong with Sheamus? Why couldn't he be pulled from what he's doing?
How about this? What about the guy who beat Ryback on the previous pay-per-view, Bray Wyatt? Because it's not even interesting. It's kind of it's baffling. You have Bray Wyatt talk all of this shit about Ryback and talking about how he wants to take from him and he wants to do this and he wants to see Ryback fail and embrace failure and all of this crap. Bray Wyatt is off TV and Ryback is a fucking champion. So what did you accomplish? Like, this is the weird situation that we have going on with Bray Wyatt in WWE. When he loses, he's in a bad position. And shit, when he wins, he's in a bad position too, because hell, like I said, you're off TV and the guy that you beat is a champion and it seems like you're none the wiser. Like, okay, well, I'll let him have his moment.
See, but my thing there is, I feel like with Bray Wyatt, that he was just like, I need something to do before I'm not featured for 2 pay-per-views in a row, so let me get this match with Ryback coming off my leg injury that they could have just kept me off TV for longer for. Which they should have, because these 3 months would have been fine to have him off TV. Then he feels more special when he comes back.
I guess we have to talk about Ryback and Big Show now. So.
Oh, shoot. Did I say 3 months? I'm sorry, I thought they were pacing these like normal shows. These 4 weeks.
Okay, who do you got, Ryback or Big Show?
Is that even a question? Like, do we actually have to make predictions here?
Ryback, of course.
It's the guy who picked the other one up and put him in a shell shock so they could make sure he could do it for the pay-per-view.
I was wondering, like, why would they give that away? But shit, you just made sense of it, so I guess we know now.
I remember back, I don't know if you remember when they had him try and pick up Mark Henry and the motherfucker dropped him. He dropped Mark Henry trying to do trying to do shell shock. I'm sure that they ran this to make sure he could do it to Big Show before the match.
Like, okay, let's make
Otherwise,
sure we
that fucking clothesline.
made the right decision. Let's go ahead and, finalize this finish for the match. Like, we got it.
Otherwise, yep. Otherwise, it was going to be about 2 moves. You were going to get the spine buster, maybe, the meat hook, if he could jump that high, and then you were going to get a pin. This is going to be the worst match on the card, barring the Divas match.
Well, I don't know. Big Show, he worked his magic in the feud with Roman Reigns. He pulled together a nice match with him. So, could there be something that we could take away from this match? Maybe.
See, but my thing there is like Roman Reigns' offense at least has a bunch of high spots that are kind of fun to see. Where Ryback's isn't necessarily that same kind of thing. Yes, it relies on a lot of him winding up for something. Where Roman Reigns is, those Superman punches are exciting. He knocks somebody to the outside. The drop kick's coming. You see him throw a right hand, and it looks like it has meaning. That's not necessarily what you get out of Ryback. I think Ryback's one of those baby faces who's just supposed to be strong. And I don't think anybody would have an interest in seeing, for instance, to compare it back to the ones that everybody got, do you care to see Goldberg versus Big Show?
Honestly,
see, it's kind of that same feeling. It's kind of that same feeling. Like, I want to see him hit the moves.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be an exciting match.
And that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, I was thinking about the jackhammer. That's the only part of the match I had down. So I guess you do have a point there. But we're going to move from one championship match to another at this time. This is going to be the New Day defending the WWE Tag Team titles versus the Primetime Players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Primetime Players, they won a number 1 contenders match in this last episode of SmackDown, so they're going into Money in the Bank with this title match.
I am beyond excited for the Primetime Players. This has been a group that I think was... This has been a group I thought was severely underutilized, even back from their days when they had Abraham Washington as their mouthpiece. I thought this was a group that could have made waves, and honestly, like, barring him getting knocked off, I feel like this is the group that may have been their centerpiece of the tag team division then. I think that might have been the direction that they were thinking about going, and then because of some controversy, the rug kind of got pulled out from underneath of them, and it's nice to see them come back and rebound. And I think that right now, Darren Young's career is holding on by the thread that is Titus O'Neil. So for him to come back and be the dominant big man that he is being, that is some exciting stuff he does in the ring, and I can't wait to see him and Big E in the ring. And hopefully don't see too much of him and Xavier, because I feel like that's one of those things where I can't believe Xavier could do anything to Titus. Just especially the way Titus has been booked in that division. But, like, what we saw this week with Big E and Titus just kind of got it kind of got me ready. Like, I'm ready for the match now.
Yeah, I'm ready for this match too. These are 2 really good tag teams, and I love the way the WWE has featured them. They've given them their little segments where they can be funny, they can be entertaining, and that provided a connection. That basically opened up the door for the audience to say, hey, come like these guys. It's okay to find them entertaining and things like that, and I think that it's worked wonders. It's worked amazingly well. I look at the Primetime Players, all those little clips that they did, vignettes making fun of the tag team division. That is the foundation that they're based upon. I don't think any of this would be possible, them even in a tag team championship match, without those things. And it just goes to show how that character development can work in your favor before you even get into a wrestling ring. If you put in the work before you get there, people will care when you actually arrive at your destination. And that's pretty much the case with the Primetime Players. And I've expressed my love for the New Day. It's been a rough road getting to where we are now, but I'm glad that we are here, and I am really, really, really excited for this match. Who do you have walking away with the titles?
See, I think the titles are going to make it move. We're going to make $1 million move with these titles. We're going to send them to the Primetime Players.
I think the $1 million move has already been made, though.
See, I still think that it would be interesting to see the New Day chasing the Primetime Players. I don't necessarily see where you can go after that, but I think it's going to be easier to find your heel tag teams and get those moving than it would be to get a bunch of babyface tag teams going. So to see somebody like Eric Rowan and Luke Harper coming out of that, like there's a few more tag teams I feel like are more established going forward with the primetime players as champions as opposed to New Day, unless you have the Usos returning, because I would love to see that feud as well.
You know what? I'm going to go with the primetime players. I'm going to go ahead and go with the primetime players because I could see them getting in a rematch with New Day, something like that, and then pivoting right towards Eric Rowan and Luke Harper because I love what WWE is doing with them too. They've brought them back together, even though I wanted to see what Luke Harper was capable of as a singles guy because all of those moments where WWE would throw Kane into the main event and things like that and Big Show, I felt that Luke Harper is a guy that could have fit in those spots. If they put more support behind that guy, he could be a really good upper mid-carder in WWE and kind of like shift in and out of the main event when need be. But going back into a tag team with Eric Rowan, I do find the Wyatt family very interesting. And now that they've forged that connection again, I can't wait to see what they are capable of doing in the tag team division. So I guess that's something that we could look forward to down the line. At this time, we are going to discuss the Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This match has Kofi Kingston from the New Day. He's going to be in this match. Also Sheamus, Kane, Roman Reigns, Neville, Dolph Ziggler, and Randy Orton.
This is supposed to be a ladder match. Like, the Money in the Bank is supposed to be the most exciting thing we get one of the most exciting matches we get all year. This is supposed to have this feeling of, like, spontaneity, and all this stuff is supposed to be exciting. There has not been any more...
Can I jump in here really quickly, though? Kyler is saying in the chat, wait, did Jay praise Eric Rowan? No, I praise the tag team of Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. I want to state that, like, very plainly.
Yeah,
okay.
Eric Rowan's ass. He sucks. But anyway, all right, back to what I was talking about. This is the most vanilla, bland, you know who's going to win it shit that we have gotten since Roman Reigns was going to win the Royal Rumble. This is what makes those things go. Well, I guess that's not even true because you could have said Daniel Bryan was going to win.
Maybe people wanted Daniel Bryan to win, like hoped he was going to win. But,
like, people said that, like, Daniel Bryan might win. And and there was rumors that they were, like, toying with the idea, so at least you had a little bit of uncertainty. But this was... I'm trying to find something to compare it to because it's so blatantly obvious that this is their guy.
Like, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
And I think this is the right time. Especially if it happens the way that I think the entire thing's going to go down. I think that this is the right time.
We'll get to that a little later because I think you had that interesting theory that we talked about that yesterday, I believe. But here's the thing. Roman Reigns is winning Money in the Bank. We don't even have to cause any speculation or any shit like that. Like, don't even have to drum it up for a dramatic effect holding off. This match has been built around Roman Reigns, and I can't see any other scenario other than Roman Reigns walking away with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I honestly think that this is a great thing. Here's why. The biggest issue that people had with Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania this year is that he wasn't built up properly. He wasn't built up to the point where he would be a credible contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Enter Money in the Bank into the equation. We've seen many times before. We've seen it with Damian Sandow before. We've seen it with Dolph Ziggler. They win Money in the Bank and they have shitty runs, just completely terrible. And you get to a championship match and everyone is so excited about it. Like, they don't give a damn about them having a terrible run because all they care about is the shock value that comes with the cash in. So this is Money in the Bank was made for Roman Reigns because in this case you're not going to have the issues that you had going into WrestleMania.
See, but can I jump in on you?
Go
because
ahead.
There's zero chance that crowd is going to be excited when Roman Reigns cashes in.
No,
he is going to get booed out of the damn building. I'm telling you that now.
No, here's the thing, because if I'm holding you to the standard of the track record that has been set, what I've seen from the WWE universe, I understand shitty reign, shock value for the cash in. Like, that's all that matters. Like, build up doesn't matter or anything like that with Money in the Bank. All that matters is the shock value that you get from the cash in. So if they are held to the same standard that they have lived up to from years ago to now, I mean, why wouldn't Roman Reigns be held to that same standard too?
He's not going to have a shitty reign. Like, are you saying like reign as Mr. Money in the Bank?
No, here's the thing. I'm not like... What I'm saying is no one can complain if he does. Because, shit, you didn't complain before. Like, Money in the Bank is all about the shock value that comes with the cash in. So that's why I think it's going to be... this is going to be Roman Reigns' road to his first World Heavyweight Championship in WWE.
And I'm telling you right now that he is not going to have a shitty reign as Mr. Money in the Bank. There is no possible way he can have a shitty reign as Mr. Money in the Bank.
Somebody is saying in the chat right now, Trenton, come on, Jay, don't you think Dolph Ziggler has a chance of winning Money in the Bank? No. Not at all. Dolph Ziggler, he was great going into 2015, but ever since... yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, no. This is Roman Reigns' match. He's gonna win.
Like if something freakish would happen, like Roman Reigns goes out there and spontaneous human combustion occurs, I think the only other person that we entertain at this point has to be Sheamus.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else, for one, who needs it, or for two, who merits having it in this match, so... I think that it would have to be Sheamus at that point. Unless you're going to do something really stupid and put it on Kane and have him cash in on Seth, and to which point, don't ever have another Money in the Bank, because I will not watch it.
If you guys couldn't see, but I was sitting here rolling my eyes because I'm so fucking fed up with everything that involves Seth Rollins, Kane, the Authority. I'm just so ready to wash my hands of it. But... I guess we can't because we still have to talk about that match. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Monday Night Raw, we get to the main event and fuckery ensues. You know, shenanigans were abound. The night was set up in a way that Seth Rollins... Last week, he was talking about how he can do things all on his own, and this week he was given the opportunity to prove exactly that. So who does he choose as his opponents? He chooses J&J Security. Same J&J Security that ended up defeating him when everything was said and done. So our WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the guy who cashed in on Brock Lesnar, got pinned by Joey Mercury.
Didn't he pin Roman Reigns, though? Brock Lesnar never got pinned, correct?
But still, the continuity in WWE is that Seth Rollins took the WWE World Heavyweight Championship from Brock Lesnar. Like, shit, you don't even have to pin him, and you're still held to a very high standard. The fact that you were the one who was responsible for ending Brock Lesnar's title reign. And that same guy who ended Brock Lesnar's title reign got pinned by Tyrion Lannister on Raw.
Hey, never disrespect Tyrion Lannister like that again. All right?
God.
Do not make fun of Tyrion. All right? He is a Lannister, and he does not have to concern himself with the opinions of sheep like you, Jay.
Oh, God. But you know, you support Seth Rollins' title reign, bye. So... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm buying the fact that this didn't happen to anybody else. I'm not buying the fact that they threw him under the bus. Like, they could have booked him well. Like, I'm not saying that I'm buying that part.
That was an option.
I'm buying them giving him the championship. At this point, you might as well keep it till WrestleMania. But that's not what's going to happen. No, I don't want to have to put up with
this bullshit until WrestleMania.
That's not what's going to happen here, though. This match is just too... It seems just too predictable at this point. Like, the whole format of this show just seems to be leading to one big thing. And I just don't see how it's not going to happen. So I think this is just one of those shows I just can't get excited about for that reason. Because
before we get there, I'd like to rant on
main matches.
Before we get there, I'd like to rant on Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose just a tad bit more. I am not excited for this match at all. I think initially, it's not even I think. I know. Initially, WWE, they were basing this feud off of the heat between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, and they were kind of using that heat as fuel to push forward with this feud. But honestly, it's done more to wear some of the shine off of the Shield than the Shield helping this actually be a good feud, because I was watching this match on Monday Night Raw completely disinterested in it. No fucks were given at all. I was just sitting there and I was like, this is what we have come to in the WWE. Such a great run from Brock Lesnar, so many dominating victories, such realism, legitness. And we get here and this bullshit is going on in the main event. Like, I'm so disinterested. I'm so disinterested in WWE's main event right now. Like, John Cena and Kevin Owens are carrying the hell out of the show as far as I'm concerned. Everything that's going on in the main event, I can give less than a fuck about. And it's sad to say, but that's the way it is.
See, I enjoyed parts of this. Like, it's weird to me, because I agree with what you're saying. I think the main event sucks. I think that this was this shouldn't be the default storyline that they have to go back to, because they have nothing else. It should be something that, like, they planned to go back to right now. Like, this should all be planned with, like, solid booking behind it so that all this makes sense. But at the same time, I did get a little bit of enjoyment out of some of the things that I was seeing. I got enjoyment out of seeing oh my gosh, Dean Ambrose just continue to not do anything over the past 2 weeks with, for some reason, no punishment of him just carrying around the championship when just like appearing in the crowd. Like, there's no security guards that are in the crowd that you see 40 of during Roman Reigns' entrance going, oh, hey, that's Dean Ambrose. Stephanie said if we see him, we should, like, all try and detain him and take that title away from him and kick him out of the arena. And then we can suspend him. Like, there's all these kind of things that they could be doing. And I just don't understand. Like, I think it would have worked a little bit better. Like, I liked what I was seeing from that perspective. That has nothing to do with actual build, though. That's the problem. But, like, I liked what I was seeing from that perspective. Those were very entertaining to see him just come out with the title in the crowd in different spots. It's whatever.
No, it's not whatever. This is terrible. And Justin is in the chat right now saying Jay looks sad as hell. I am. Because because it's so much going on now that has been ruined. Like the main event scene in WWE, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar, like everything. I'm just trying to consume everything that's going on. And as someone pointed out, Orbits in the chat, they only do things like this just so they can create an even playing field. So Seth Rollins isn't even thrown under the bus now. He's under a fucking 18-wheeler, and he got rolled over once, and they're backing up and doing all 18 wheels once again. And God, why? This is no, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But go ahead and talk about your theory, because we do have a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match here, a ladder match featuring Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, but this is Money in the Bank, so I mean maybe that has something to do with who's going to walk away with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
All right, hold on. Let me grab the notebook so I don't mess any of these up. All right. So first off, we have to take care of the fact that we have Roman Reigns winning Money in the Bank. Now, in order for all of this to work, Money in the Bank cannot main event the show that it is the title of, because that never happens. So if Money in the Bank goes on last, which it sure as shit won't.
Because doesn't that just blow up everything for you? So.
Then, it just won't, though. Like, let's look at it 100% honest. There's no way in hell that match is going on last. Mm-hmm. But we're going to have Roman Reigns win it, and I think that what we've been seeing on TV with this friendship between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns is perfect, because it allows us to get that heel turn that Roman Reigns has needed. And that heel turn is going to come at the expense of Dean Ambrose, as Ambrose pulls down that title and Roman Reigns' music hits, and all of a sudden you see a Superman punch, a spear, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We've got Roman Reigns as your new champion walking out. And then now we've got to set up a little bit. We've got Battleground coming up. So if Brock Lesnar's coming back to have a match, you assume it's probably somehow then going to be with Roman Reigns, and you throw the two members of the Shield to the wayside for it. Because both Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose... Because Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose have a rematch coming. So I'm saying that both of them are going to get just shoved to the side. And you're going to have Brock Lesnar come in. They're going to say something like his rematch has been longer. And Brock Lesnar is going to challenge for the title. And because it's more important to protect Brock Lesnar at a SummerSlam and have him get his Big Four win, you have Roman Reigns retain the championship via some sort of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns interference. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose interference. So now you've set up the Shield triple threat, which is going to happen at SummerSlam. I think there's no way around it at this point. They can't push it off anymore. Really, it has to come to a head here in the next couple of months, and they're really setting that up. I don't see how it couldn't. And it even gives you the possibility with Seth kind of separating himself from the Authority. Maybe we could get a fresh Seth Rollins who turns face, but I think ultimately coming out of all of this, I think we'll see Roman Reigns retaining the title, and we'll actually get the kind of run that Roman Reigns should have as his first championship run, with some very nice matches to boot.
Okay. Hold on. So pretty much what you're saying right now is that whole partnership and that connection that they're forging between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, that leads somewhere, and it could all come to a head at Money in the Bank.
Yes, because I think that this is something WWE should do more of, is showing us that some of these guys are friends, so that when they come out for the save or somebody turns on somebody, it seems a little bit more like it seems to be bigger. So for them to have set this up, there's a purpose behind it. And I think we're going to see that pay off at Money in the Bank.
All righty. See, I don't know if I'll go as far as to say that Roman Reigns is going to cash in at Money in the Bank, but whatever happens with that Money in the Bank briefcase, it is going to lead somehow, some way to that Shield triple threat. And that could possibly be that right there. And now I understand why you were talking about Roman Reigns couldn't possibly have a terrible reign as Mr. Money in the Bank, because shit, he's cashing it in an hour later. So, hey.
Probably 3 hours later. I wouldn't be shocked if that fucking Money in the Bank opens the damn show.
Okay.
At the way that these things are looking.
Any more thoughts going into this show? What do you expect to be the match of the night? All of that good stuff. Most looking forward to?
Match of the night, most looking forward to, total number of matches I care about, everything on this fucking spectrum goes, besides worst match of the night, goes to Kevin Owens and John Cena.
Everything positive is just Kevin Owens and John Cena. Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't even think they should be having the match yet. So you could just guess what my excitement level is going into Money in the Bank. Like, if it was up to me, I wouldn't even fucking watch it. Because it's a WWE pay-per-view, so I will watch it because it's on mostly. But
and you have something to do that night too, so yeah.
Probably not. I don't know. I heard PWTR doesn't do reviews on Sundays.
Well, okay. Shit, fine by me.
I guess the F show doesn't get those. Also, they'll be on tomorrow, so give that a listen.
Yeah, but on PWFempire.com, PWTR, nice. I made that little recovery there, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like shit.
Alrighty, guys. Of course, my most anticipated match is John Cena versus Kevin Owens. I've loved every single thing that I've seen from these guys, and I am very interested to see how this match is going to change going into Money in the Bank, because you have to imagine that John Cena is going to bring something different to the table because maybe he was caught off guard by Kevin Owens the first time around, so it'll be interesting to see how he changes his game up. I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I think it's about time that John Cena gets a new finisher.
Oh, for sure. That would be, at this point, so many people have kicked out of the Attitude Adjustment. The only problem is I don't know what that finisher is. And if his moveset is any indication, it sure as shit can't be that springboard stunner.
Oh, hell no. I'm so tired of that.
Go from the AA to the SS.
Yeah, put an A in front of that because that move is ass. He did it. The first time he did it was at WrestleMania, right? I like that. Every single time after that, I'm like, no, you can stop. But yeah, it's about time for John Cena to get a new finisher. And shit, whatever that finisher may be, that's up to you guys. You come up with that. I ain't got nothing to do with me. But yeah, that's it for this episode of PWF Empire Live. Next time you see us will be this Sunday following Money in the Bank. And we will be here on PWFempire.com giving our rundown of that show. Hopefully you guys join us then. Until then, thank you for tuning into this show. We'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.